A Seattle man who passed away last year from cancer. He was a former banker turned social worker, and he was the kind of penny pincher who used duct tape to patch up worn shoes. He looked for deals wherever he went, drove old beater cars. And when he died, he donated $11 million to help vulnerable children in Washington State. Here's more from KIRO's Carolyn Osorio.
The former banker worked the past 20 years at the Department of Social and Health Services. He saved and invested several millions on his own and also inherited millions more from his parents. Jessica Ross, the chief development officer for Treehouse, says their organization received $5,000 just a few months before Alan passed away. As it turned out, that was just a primer for what was yet to come.
We actually heard from Mr. Naiman in the fall of last year, and he gave us a $5,000 gift. And we hadn't received a gift from him before. We were totally shocked and called him up and just said, thank you so much. And how did you hear about us? And, we had a short conversation with him. And then very shortly after that, learned that he had passed away. His attorney contacted us and let us know that in his estate, he'd left Treehouse $900,000 to support our services, and along with many other local charities that work with mostly with children. And honestly, we were shocked. The amount was, of course, eye-popping, and what we knew that with the growth plans that we had and what we'd be able to do for kids in foster care, it was amazing. Once we got past the shock of the amount, honestly, the story of his life was what really touched everybody at Treehouse.
Jessica says she regrets not having had a chance to speak with Alan, but one woman in her office did.
Really said he was just a nice and genuine and really humble man. And she said, can we get to know you a little bit better? We'd love to talk to you a little bit about how we're going to use the $5,000 donation. And he said, no, I love Treehouse. I love your work. Please keep doing great work. I have everything I need from you. And little did we know that meant he had bigger plans to leave us a much bigger gift.
So Carolyn he didn't have children of his own, right?
He didn't, but he was a foster dad to two boys, and he used the Treehouse service for them, both as a foster dad, but then also knew of it as a CPS social worker. So, they were just over the moon with it. And honestly, I heard the story when it broke over the holidays, and it's just a wonderful story.
Why do you think we gravitate towards stories of people who duct tape their shoes and end up with $11 million?
I think that there's that T-shirt or a logo that says don't judge somebody because you don't know what they're going through. And this is like the reverse of that. This guy scrimped and saved and probably was known as a cheapskate. People probably laughed at him. And all the while, he's collecting and amassing all this money to help children who so desperately need it. And so it makes it even more special.
I think there are more people like this than we realize. The statistic is that there are close to 11 million millionaires in the U.S., and it grew by something like 700,000 last year. And some people just don't want to spend it on a bunch of glitzy stuff that you have to take care of forever, and they save it as a nest egg. But if you have no one to pass it on to, then why not leave it to Treehouse?
Why not? They absolutely deserve it.
Yeah. Carolyn, thank you.